Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are excited to have our good friend Timothy Collins back joining us here today. It's Timothy
Hello,
Collins
hello.
Jr. Yes, from 5A Therapy Mental Health Counseling Service. Timothy, welcome back, and please introduce yourself to our new time listeners and viewers today.
Yes, hello, people. My name is Timothy Collins Jr. I am a licensed mental health counselor out of Miramar, Florida, which is close to Fort Lauderdale, if you don't know. And I service Broward County, Miami-Dade County, and Palm Beach County with virtual therapy and group therapy for those who are in need. And the whole goal is to help you clear out your corruption so that way you can become the truth of what you were supposed to be in the first place.
Ah, I love it. And you're servicing what areas?
Yes, so that's Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and Palm Beach County.
Perfect. And tell us a little bit
Yes,
about what you do at 5A Therapy. And I'm just letting you know I'm still waiting on your notes. And oh, isn't it
not a
funny how
problem.
sometimes things take a little long? I got them today. Tell us what you wanted to talk about.
Today, we're going to talk about honestly just the hustle of entrepreneurship, just how it goes down, what did the ins and outs of it, what to expect, the reality versus the idealism of it. And then when it comes to entrepreneurship, specifically when it comes to mental health counseling, because a lot of people have the notion of, I'm going to get out there and start my own practice. And it's
Yeah,
like, do you know how? And the hoops that you have to go through. So, yeah, that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to keep it real.
perfect. Excited. So let's get started. I'm trying to upload and download the thing. So where do we start? Because I don't have it yet.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's okay. I guess a good place to start would be my personal experience with
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. I would say it started back in 2017 during that homeless period where I was like, okay, hey, what am I going to do to earn my own money? And that's when I started making ebooks. Fast forward about 6 years, and I say, okay, well, I'm going to start my therapy service. However, I didn't even start my therapy service because I wanted to. I started it just strictly out of taxes because I'm independent contracting. So I was like, I need to be able to, keep my money safe. So let me open up the LLC. So I opened up the LLC. And then I said, well, I have an LLC. I might as well use it, right? What's the point of having a car and not driving it? So that's when I started building up what I needed to know and what I needed to learn in order to have a successful platform. And the more I learned, the more I realized I did not know. So back to the drawing board, back to the drawing board, all of the little itty bitty grits. But it actually did teach me like what I can do as a therapist. It helped me recognize the populations that I'm good with working with. It helped me recognize the actual disorders that I'm good with dealing with. I just don't take any case. If it's outside of my scope of service, I don't take it. But if it's within my scope of service, yes. And I actually do know what I'm good at and what I can specify with. And then in addition to the service, I added the ebooks from years ago. And then I said, okay, I'll have the card game. And it was my friend who said, hey, you should promote your card game as a licensed therapist because most card games are not made by therapists. I was like, huh, that's a good idea. So time goes on, and all three of those facets come together: the card game, the ebooks, and the service. And there you have 5A therapy. So that my experience was interesting and intricate.
And I mean, it's like, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've never had the skills, the brains, the knowledge. That's why I work for someone. I want to do my podcast, and I've worked my whole life for someone, right? But it's also
Mm.
got to be scary, right?
Oh, definitely. Because I would say the biggest fear when it comes to entrepreneurship is instability. Like, that's the biggest one. I could sit here and make more money than your average employee, but if something happens to my business, I'm out. I'm out. There's nothing I can do. I have to start all over again. Whereas if something happens to your average employee, they just go get another job, which is okay. But it's a different story when you own it. So I would say that's the biggest fear. It's just the instability. It can be scary. Yes.
Well, also it's like how does it work when it comes to mental health therapy, right? Let's talk a little bit about, details of entrepreneurship, being in this business and how that the ups, the downs, the gains, the losses.
Yes. I would say the biggest down about the business of therapy is literally the business of therapy itself. we are in a holistic and humanistic domain to where literally what we do is just have a conversation with people and help them recognize their distortions or their disorder. And then we give them training, technical skills, not tips or advice, but skills in order to manage themselves wisely. So when you have that and you have to be able to match it, you got to know what you can do. So I don't know, the business of mental health is probably the biggest problem. Insurances. Why do I have to pay for a conversation? XYZ. However, therapists have to make a living, psychologists have to make a living, and they put it on the insurance. So it's good enough to be paid for. So that's what I would say there.
Oh, and then, I mean, you've been doing this now for how many years? It was since the pandemic, right? So,
Just about, yeah.
and, as there's ups and downs, there's gains, there's losses. Tell me what was been like the most scariest thing that's happened to you so far?
The scariest thing that's happened to me so far, it's kind of hard to separate my personal life from therapy because it kind of intertwined. But I would say over the past, I personally, and then business wise, let's do that. So personally, the scariest thing that's happened is over the past 8 years, I've had 8 people die in my family, including my mom. So that was pretty challenging for me. So all the building up that I'm getting to do, I know she'll see it spiritually, but it sucks that she's not here to physically see it. So I would say that's probably the worst loss that I had during this process. And business wise, honestly, just the instability. Like I've slept in cars, I've slept on couches, I've slept on concrete. Yeah, I have to be humble. I know what concrete feels like. So the biggest loss is probably just the instability. However, the trajectory keeps going. When I go back to the drawing board, I say, okay, this is I did right, I did right, I did right. Here's where I need to grow. This is my room for improvement. So with entrepreneurship comes accountability. If you do not take it, you will be stagnant. That simple.
And a lot of pressure, a lot of
Hmm.
that. And what would you say, what are some of those biggest gains and then the biggest losses? What would you
Biggest
say?
gains. Oh, biggest gains would definitely be, I mean, the holistic side of, hey, one, I know my purpose. A lot of people, I say that and a lot of people get upset. Not upset, but like, they're like, I don't know my purpose. And you good that you know yours. Another gain is being able to help people. I know my skill. You know, if you're a cook, you can go out there and feed people. I know my skill when it comes to helping other people be clear about their thoughts and their emotions and their behaviors. So that way I can go out there and help other people be healthier humans and they can go out there and help other humans be healthier humans. So that's probably the biggest gain is being able to transfer that skill to other people so that way they can help other people doing it and then it just radiates from there. And I'll admit the money's good too. Like when you own your business, I always say this, you'll make more money owning your business, no matter what you do. I don't care if you're an electrician, you're a therapist, you do podcasting. I don't care. Whatever your check is, put a zero at the end. That's what the owner's getting. So that made me realize keep going. Just keep going. Keep going.
Oh,
Yeah.
and but then what about how does it work when you're not doing as well? What type of losses are you taking?
Financial. That's the biggest one right there. Financial losses. If you're not working, you're not making money. And if you're not making money, you don't have a business. I always tell people that you need transactions to have a business. Other than that, it's a passionate hobby. That's it. So the big losses, finances. If you're not working, you got to promote, and that's one thing. That's an area of mine where I have to improve, like promoting your stuff. That's part of the work too. And of course, people want big teams, or they try to transfer the workout, but nope. You got to be able to do it yourself so that way you can keep going. If you are the leader of your business, you should know how to do everything that is beneath you. So I got to learn how to market, I got to learn how to promote. And although that is a big loss if I don't do it. So yeah, I'd go with finances, instability, and just loss of clients if you don't put in that work.
Now, what would you say? Is there days where you feel like giving up? You feel less motivated?
Oh, yeah, just about every day. And I'll be honest. Like I said, I cannot teach other people to stand in their truth if I don't do it. And the only reason why I say that is because it's not because of the job itself. Like I love being a therapist. I love psychoanalyzing and helping people and connecting dots. However, the entrepreneurship of it all. I think to myself, why am I going through all this? Why am I making less money than I should be making? When I can just go get a full-time job right now. And I'm a male therapist. That's pretty rare. I mean, there are male therapists out there, but 97% of the mental health industry is female. So to find a male therapist under the age of 35 that's licensed, that's pretty rare. So I love what I do, but the entrepreneurship of it, it's like I could just go get a job. I know for a fact I'll get hired. But then I'm like, okay, everything that I've ever taught someone else is popping into my head. That whole put a zero at the end of your check. That's what the owner's getting. Blah 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 blah. I see how much I work when I do have, because I do have people on my personal platform. So I see how much money I make from there compared to how much I'm making at, let's say, an agency, and I'm making way more on my platform doing the same amount of work. So yes, there are days that I get discouraged. There are days where I do want to give up. There are days where I'm questioning and literally blaming myself for whatever position I may be in at that moment. But then I realize, keep going. Basically, if I stop now, it would be like opening up a restaurant. I got the food laid out, everything's ready, and I just shut it down because I haven't told people about it. So that's part of why I'm here, being able to push it out. Entrepreneurship is it's a hustle.
It is. And this is the hustle of entrepreneurship. Timothy Collins
Hmm.
joining us here live today. We've got to know a lot about you. Let's just take a pause here 1 second. Tell us a little about, also the other aspect of your business, the books, the workshops, everything else that you do. And then we'll continue with more of the hustle here.
Not a problem. Yes, the groups I do well with service. I do groups as well. I'm actually thinking about doing a philanthropy group, to be honest with you. Of course, I do anxiety groups and they do well, but I would like a philanthropy group. I'm thinking something related to teens or men. I could do a men's group. Why not? There's a lot of stuff that I personally believe men can improve on, and men are always looking for a safe space. So why not? And with that being said, that could also connect to the books because I do use my books when it comes to references, when it comes to existentialism, when it comes to nonfiction, when it comes to facts. So those books are necessary, especially the Discover Cognition series that we talked about before, just being able to help people be more aware of what they're talking about and if they're making sense when they do speak. So the books are definitely a good way of doing that. And that's something that I plan on discussing further in this entrepreneurial lifestyle. Like you said, I wear a lot of hats. And let's see, the games I'm working on now, I'm still pushing them out. Currently marketing to do some more work. I want to do some game nights, and because there are five different versions, I'll give the people the option. Hey, pick your poison. Which one are you feeling right now? And then we'll just watch it and we'll play it and we'll get to see people's reactions. So game nights are coming up for Funspiracy, the game of shocking truth, and look out for descriptions of the book and how that's connected to therapy. And I'll most likely promote that on my social medias. That's 5A Therapy FL on TikTok and on Instagram.
Well, let's continue the hustle now. It's
Mm.
like there must be days though when you feel like stopping, when you don't feel as good, right? Explain this to me. And how do you continue to go? Keep chugging through.
Oh man, how do I continue to go? Well, like I said, I think about the money. I do think about my freedom. I do because although I have my own platform and I have independent contracting, being homeless taught me freedom has no price. No price. If I told you you could roam the streets all day and you could travel for free, I bet money nobody would be at work right now. Everybody would be on a plane or a boat and they'd be out there. So the freedom is a motivation as well. And strategy. I like to learn. And although that doesn't sound like much of a motivation, being able to learn something new always puts me in a refreshed state. So there are certain aspects that I get motivated by. And one of those aspects are something very unorthodox. Can you guess what that is, Jill?
No, what is it?
Mm, drug dealers. And I know that's weird.
Really?
Yes, drug dealers. Because every drug dealer movie you see, whether it be Scarface or American
Ah, you're
Gangster,
right.
they are doing it. They have the hustle, they have the mentality, they have the strategy. When something goes wrong, they're able to find ways around it. The only situation is that their system and their product is illegal. So I thought to myself, if I had the same mentality, the same hustle, the same push, the same drive, the same, ability to adapt, but I had a legal system with a legal product, I'd be just as successful as them, if not even more successful, simply because I have a legal product and a legal system. So being able to watch how they operate motivates me because they get down. Of course, they can go to jail or die at any point. I don't have to worry about that. But
Hmm.
it's still a negative aspect that they are able to maneuver around. When they want to stop, somebody's there to support them. They come up with a new strategy. And even if it's that 1% that might make a difference, it's still worth it.
Yeah. I love hearing that because it is. It's a lot. And there's
Hmm.
people in your business with mental health, of course. Let me ask, people, I'm sure you're friends with other people that are entrepreneurs, right? What do they all say about this? And do you have advice for them as well?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I have other friends that are entrepreneurs and they feel the same way that I do. I have friends that are a little behind me, friends that are on the same level, excuse me, friends that are ahead. And they all say the same thing. The biggest factor that we don't want to take into consideration is time. We don't want to take the time. And it's because we have an idea in our head and we want it to come as fast as possible. We want the rewards. We want to be instantly gratified, Joe. And that can't be the case when it comes to entrepreneurship. So I would say take your time. That's probably the biggest one. Like on purpose, purposely go slowly. Now, that doesn't mean move slowly or do everything slowly. It just means when you have an idea, do the idea. Don't rush through it. Just do it. It's like baking a cake, you know, mix the ingredients properly. And then once you put it in the oven, sit back and let it bake. There's nothing else you can do right now. Go live your life, go eat some fruit, go take a walk, go flirt with somebody, go do anything else except for worry about what's already being cooked. Just let it bake. That's it. Take your time. And I always say take your time because, heck, time is what keeps you alive. Once you run out, there's nothing left. So take your time.
Oh, well, as far as the hustle of entrepreneurship, tell me some personal challenges. I want to hear some of give me some stories about when it was hard, when it was good, what could be better, share this with us.
Yes. Okay. Well, so whilst one good thing is that literally just yesterday I got credentialed with Florida Blue. So that is a big deal to me because of all of the little personal challenges. Um, I think one of the biggest ones was because of the economy and how things were going. Um, Last year, I moved out of my apartment. I moved out of my apartment and I got a roommate simply so that way I can do two things. One, downsize a bit because two, I had other financial aspects that I had to pay for. So, although I'm not a big fan of having that roommate, one, I know it's not going to last forever. Two, I made the right choice because I gave myself a year and that year is almost up and I'm right where I need to be. So that way, three, I'll be back in my own place with all of my external financial obligations taken care of. I've lost a car about a year and a half ago. I got into a car accident and that was on a Friday. I had a car that Monday, that 2 days later, I had a car simply because I have to go to work I cannot miss my clients. If I miss my clients, I miss my money. If I miss my money, that's not going to be a good thing. I have to go to work. So I spent the most I've ever spent in one setting just so I can go to work on Monday. That's it. So that was a pretty big challenge. And I would say probably the biggest one is just kind of like being away from my family. We live in different cities. And although I love them, we talk all the time. Having that support is a really big deal. So a personal challenge for me would be that support. Like I have friends that support me and they care, but verbal affirmations only go so far. I appreciate the fact that you care, but if I say, "Hey, I need help marketing this," I need someone that's going to sit down with me and help me market, come up with a marketing plan, XYZ. So those are some challenges that I've experienced as a therapist in the hustle of entrepreneurship. However, if I had to change anything, I'd probably just change my ability to market better. Everything else that I've been through over the past 8 years, over the past 2 years, has been worth it because now when somebody comes to me with the same issue, hey, bro, hey, sis, this is what you do. One, two, three, ABC. After this, you're good to go. So just helping people be able to get out of those situations or even keep them from getting in it. That does my heart well.
And didn't you want to ask me any questions? Last week was so much fun. You were on like a roll. We had, what was it? What was it called?
Yeah, Funspiracy, the game of shocking truth. Good stuff. Yes. Do you
Any
want
shocking truth questions for today?
any shocking truth question? What can I come up with? Okay, how about this? If you were to be an entrepreneur, what would you do?
I
Oh, here we go.
No, don't laugh. Like, 'cause everyone does something, everyone has something, right? So, the one thing that I wish people would make and they don't make that I want to make, but I'll never make money off it is foot bins. You're like, what? I'm
Foot
sick.
pins?
No, bins. Hold on.
Oh, foot
Okay.
bins.
Okay, I hate dirty feet in my house and I make people take their shoes off, but still their socks could be dirty. So, and then the summer comes and everyone comes in barefoot, but they're outside, bare feet. So I want to make a foot bath, like for my front porch.
A foot bath for like a bird bath but for your feet.
But they make it for the pool and I have them and it's like ugly. It looks like 2 feet. It's like round and it's got like fake feet on it. It's like for it to go into a pool. I want to make custom nice like
Oh.
wooden ones that say like welcome to my house, wash your feet, wash your dirty feet. Like, that's what I want to do. But I mean, who's gonna really buy them? Because I'm the only one
A
who's
lot of
OCD and
people would buy that,
crazy.
Jill. A
I
lot of
don't
people
know, but I
you'd be
swear that's my
surprised.
entrepreneurial idea because you go on Amazon, you go on Etsy, nobody makes them. They make the ones for the pool, but they're ugly. They're standard blue. So yeah,
Yes, Jill, this is your moment. This is your moment. It's never too late. The sooner you start, the sooner you get it. And if they already make it for pools, this is where your strategy would have to come in. How do we take this and put it on the front porch? Because people
yeah,
would totally buy it. I'm not even that much of a clean freak, but I would buy it simply because it's just cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there are
It's
a lot of
so
people who
true.
have a thought processing like you. So lots of type A people, man. I'm telling you, that's
Crazy.
it.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. It really
Yes.
is. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Well, we are almost out of time, Timothy. In our last 2 minutes, how did you kind of want to sum up today's show?
Well, in inspiration of you, Jill, I'll say this. When you have an idea that won't leave your head, do it. Even if you just, even if never waste a good idea,
Yeah.
never waste it. So even if you go to someone else and tell them your idea and say, hey, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to do it, you totally should. Go for it. Go for it. Never waste a good idea because somebody's going to do it and you're going to be like, oh man, that feeling sucks.
Yeah.
That feeling sucks. So at the very least, pass on the idea to somebody else and let them have a little fun. But I will say that never waste a good idea.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, thank you. We're going to do that, hopefully, and take and heed the advice from our friend
Yes.
Timothy Collins. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Timothy,
you.
how can we reach out to you?
You can send me an email at tcollins@ 58therapy. You can find me on social media, TikTok and Instagram, 5A Therapy FL. And you can give me a ring at 786-495-6503. That's the business line. And just continue to be who you are and learn to become who you are supposed to be.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And 5A Therapy, reach out to you directly. You offer initial free consultation, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thanks so much for today. And thank you for your patience with us. And I
Of course.
appreciate you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.